Hey guys, coming to you today to talk about dangling and misplaced modifiers. Sometimes in writing we place modifying phrases or even words in places in the sentence that make the sentence say something other than what was actually intended. So today we're going to look at those and see, are you sure that's what you meant to say? So here we go. Our standard for this in language arts is ELA GSE 7L1. That's demonstrate command of the conventions of language. And the C under that says place phrases and clauses within a sentence recognizing and correcting misplaced and dangling modifiers. So I'm going to give you some sentences here. We're going to talk about the sentences and look at the way that it becomes humorous when something gets placed in the wrong spot. Okay, so I've got a few sentences here I thought we would look at. The first one that catches my eye: a woman passed by leading a Springer Spaniel in a long black dress. Now, the modifying phrase in this sentence is in a long black dress. The way it's positioned in this sentence makes it sound like that she is leading a Springer Spaniel who is wearing a long black dress. Don't think that's the original intent of that sentence, but that's what it actually says. We've got another one here. We saw dinosaurs on a field trip to the Natural History Museum. On a field trip to the Natural History Museum is placed right by the dinosaurs, and so when it's placed there, it sounds like the dinosaurs are actually the ones on the field trip. We should pluck that off the back and put it on the front so that it's closer to the we, which is what it should be modifying here. We've got another cute one right here. The smoke alarm went off while cooking my dinner. So the modifying phrase here is while cooking my dinner. Now, it sounds like the smoke alarm was actually cooking my dinner. But what we have here is what we call a dangling modifier. While cooking my dinner is the modifying phrase here, but the problem is there's no one in this sentence to do the cooking. So what we need to do to fix that would be to add in the person doing the cooking. So something like, while I was cooking my dinner, comma, the smoke alarm went off. Is how we would fix that. Okay? Just a few more so that you can get the gist of this. Always thought this one was kind of cute. A tarantula bit one of the dock workers that had a hairy, huge body. Now, that had a hairy, huge body right now is right next to the dock workers rather than next to the tarantula. So apparently these were some pretty big and hairy dudes that were working at the dock, according to what this sentence says. But if we pluck this modifying phrase off right here that had a hairy, huge body and stick it next to the tarantula, then it would say a tarantula that had a hairy, huge body bit one of the dock workers. And really that's what the person meant to say. So we're going to look at a few examples of how students have fixed these. The really funny thing is to see the picture drawn of the sentence as it is done incorrectly, and then to have the students correct the sentence and draw a picture of what it meant to say. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take a piece of computer paper, and we're just going to fold it in half. We're going to call this hamburger style instead of hot dog style. And then we're going to open that back up. And on the left side, I had the students write the sentence as it was written on this paper incorrectly. And then they are going to draw a picture of what the sentence is actually saying. And then on this side of the paper, on the right side, they're going to correct the sentence and fix the dangling or misplaced modifier. And then they're going to draw a picture of what it meant to say. So here we go. Let's look at some examples of this. The wording is a little hard to read here on this one, but this says, a woman passed by leading a Springer Spaniel in a long black dress. So if we're looking just at the left side of this, here is the woman, and she's walking by, and she's leading her Springer Spaniel in a long black dress. That's what the sentence actually said. So she fixed that over here and said, while wearing a long black dress, comma, a woman, so now it's close to the woman, which is where it should be, passed by leading her Springer Spaniel. So now we have the picture of the woman wearing the long black dress, and she's leading her Springer Spaniel. Our next example, the smoke alarm went off while cooking my dinner. Now remember, this was not a misplaced modifier, this was a dangling modifier. So it sounds like the smoke alarm is here cooking the dinner. But to fix that, she actually added in the person doing the cooking. So she says, while I was cooking my dinner, the smoke alarm went off. So now she's doing the cooking and the smoke alarm is going off, which happens to me more than it should while I'm cooking dinner, but I digress. Next one, we saw dinosaurs on a field trip to the Natural History Museum. So we've got a little school bus here, the Dino School, and the dinosaurs are in the bus and they're on their field trip to the History Museum. And here are the kids just standing out there and they're actually seeing the dinosaurs on the field trip. What we should have had on this side, on our way to the Natural History Museum, we saw dinosaurs. Now the children are actually on the way to the Natural History Museum and they see dinosaurs. All right. Here we've got another one, strolling hand in hand to the farm. The young bulls, clearly the young bulls were hand in hand, broke free of the field and headed toward us. So here come the bulls strolling hand in hand, and here the people are running away. So we fixed that by saying strolling hand in hand to the farm. So now we're the ones strolling hand in hand right here. We noticed 2 young bulls had broken free of the field and headed toward us, and now the bulls are heading toward the people. Our next example, reading a book, my cat crawled into my lap. So here we've got little girl, she's just sitting there and her cat crawls up into her lap reading a book because clearly it was right next to the cat. What it should have said was, while I read a book, my cat crawled into my lap. This was another dangling modifier. It sounded like the cat was reading the book, so it didn't even say who was doing the reading there, so we had to add that in. Got another cute one right here. While doing the dishes, a mouse ran across the floor. So not only is this an awesome mouse because it's doing the dishes, but it's doing the dishes while it's running across the floor, apparently. Wish I had that mouse at my house. And on this side, we fixed it. A mouse ran across the floor while I was doing the dishes. Again, another dangling modifier over here. We don't have anyone doing the dishes, and so we had to add that in right here. Okay. Just a couple more that make me giggle. I sent a poster to my mom rolled up in a tube. Well, here comes the poster, and there's Mom going to check the mail, and she's rolled up in a tube. Not exactly what that sentence meant to say. So she fixed it. I sent a poster rolled up in a tube to my mom. So now Mom's checking the mail, not in a tube, thank goodness. And here's the poster rolled up in a tube. And now we've got old Oswald and Hilda. Oswald and Hilda found the flowers hiking up the hill. So here's Oswald and there's Hilda, and now the flowers with their little water bottles are hiking up the hill. So that's not really what that meant to say. That one is misplaced. When Oswald and Hilda were walking up the hill or hiking up the hill, they saw flowers. So now we've got Oswald and Hilda doing the hiking, and they're just observing these flowers. And this may be my favorite one of all, right here. I gave olives to my friend that I stabbed with my fork. All right, so we've got, clearly, here's the fork. I don't know if you can see it. Dude's been stabbed by his friend. Hate it when that happens. So we fix it over here. Yeah, the olives should have been what got stabbed. I gave my friend the olives that I stabbed with my fork. Okay, now we've got the fork right here and the little olive on the end, and he is sharing with his friend. So that is our little brief lesson on dangling and misplaced modifiers. Remember to always ask yourself, is that what I meant to say? And if not, move that modifier or add in what should be getting modified. All right, you guys have a great day.